Dear Chief Rabbi Casper, we wanted to pay tribute to you, but had some problems finding a suitable approach.
Since you are British and an important public figure, we tried this.
Undeterred, we then tried something with a different flavor.
In the end, we stopped trying so hard and just let our hearts do the talking.
Dear Chief Rabbi Casper, when you arrived as Chief Rabbi of the United Hebrew Congregation 24 years ago, many of us here tonight were not yet born. Today, however, we reap the benefits of your foresight and tireless devotion to our Jewish needs.
We chatted to people around town to get an idea of how it all began. Mr. Alec Goldberg, Executive Director of the South African Jewish Board of Deputies, spoke to us about the problem the Jewish community faced.
The 1967 National Policy Education Act said that education should have a Christian character, and that in many provinces, in all the provinces, the emphasis then was on Christocentric education. The question is, and this was always the problem, what do you do with the Jewish children? There was no provision for alternate religious instruction for Jewish children.
Mr. Hans Sanger, President of the United Hebrew Congregation, explained the Chief Rabbi's involvement.
Chief Rabbi Casper made representations at the highest governmental level to allow Jews to be exempted. Long negotiations were not very successful until the Chief Rabbi's educational program was developed in about 1974. The Chief Rabbi tirelessly interviewed and met with headmasters to gain their permission for the program to be authorized in government schools.
Rabbi Chaim Shane, Director of the Pedagogic Center and Coordinator of the Religious Education Program, discussed its growth.
We developed in the last 10 years a full syllabus of RI, which now today not only runs in the high schools, but from Standard 3 to Matric. I don't think there's any other country in the world where you have a religious instruction program that works in this way. We have a very unique setup where, in actual fact, we have a way of almost contacting every Jewish child in the whole gamut. The Chief Rabbi has made it his business to see that the program continue and that the program develop. And I think it's to his tremendous credit that we have developed to the extent that we have.
We then spoke to one of the writers of the RI booklets, Mr. Con Pactor.
I pay tribute to Chief Rabbi Casper for his educational contribution and for the inspiration that he has been to all of us in the writing of these books. Without his editorializing, the whole work would have been impossible.
Perhaps one of our most moving experiences was the interview with Rabbi Alloy.
There is an idea in the Talmud that everyone, when he comes on a high position, it's given to him by God certain ideas that he could bring in that the previous incumbents of that position didn't think of it. And so this great idea of Jewish education in public schools, in the wonderful way that Rabbi Casper organized it, I'm sure this will remain in the history of the Jewish community in Johannesburg. That great thing which he inaugurated, and he looked after it all the time, and which met with a very great success for the Jewish community, for the education of Jewish children.
Being pupils in government schools, we need just a little something extra to unite us as Jews. And I feel that these Jewish student programs have done just that.
Chief Rabbi Casper's concern with Jewish education, however, extended beyond his involvement in the government schools.
Quite apart from the religious instruction program, I think it's well known that Rabbi Casper was very much concerned with the content and quality of education at the day schools. For instance, whenever he speaks now and whenever he spoke then, the centrality of Israel in Jewish life, Zionism, was to him an essential part of education of Jewish youth.
Dear Chief Rabbi, our brief tribute to your role in education remains incomplete without acknowledging the complexity of your office.
He has strengthened and enriched South Africa's religious and educational life. I personally feel privileged to have had the good fortune of a very close and personal association.
Certainly, at a personal level, I will miss him a great deal. I know the board are going to miss him a great deal, and I have little doubt that he is leaving a very big void in the community generally.
I think within the community, I think he's done something very interesting. I believe that he's been able to see methods which have allowed the community to develop. I think many people believe that within the Jewish community it should almost be a monolithic community. I've never believed in that. I think that the establishment of yeshivot in the last few years, the questions of kashrut, the general move to the right, if you would like to call it to the right, I think the Chief Rabbi has seen that that's what the community wants. I think he's promoted it in his own kind of way, and I think that's been most beneficial to the community. And I would say since the 60s, since he became involved, the community has really developed in that area. I think if you look at the community in the period before, it didn't develop in that area.
Professionally is the way he dealt with all problems. I mean, I personally worked with him for all the 24 years. Always gentle, always humble, always sincere. And although whenever it was necessary, he was very strong in his convictions and took even a strong stand. But always he has done it in a diplomatic way so that it should always come out as unanimous, not in a way of kabludati. Kabludati means accept my opinion. And this is my opinion, my strong opinion, you must accept whatever I say. It was never his way.
To Rabbi Casper, one could very aptly apply the words of Oliver Goldsmith, who in his immortal poem, The Deserted Village, expressed the inhabitants' view of their schoolmaster in these terms. And oh, how the wonder grew that one small hair could carry all he knew. And now, Chief Rabbi Casper, after 25 years of devoted, faithful, and loyal service, has decided to retire and return home, Jerusalem. We wish him well, and may the Almighty bless him, his good lady and family, with length of days, good health, and happiness, all of which he so greatly deserves. We will miss him very sorely.
Hashem,